Yo, what up, y'all? It's the Ignorant Know-It-Alls on 92.6 The Spot. It is 12 o'clock in the PM on a nice Saturday afternoon. We just happened to walk into the studio. Please continue to subscribe. Tune in every week, 12 to 1. This is the Ignorant Know-It-Alls. I'm your boy, Wavy McGuire, a.k.a. The Lazy Genius, a.k.a. The Ignorant Know-It-All. You know, I'm always here with my boy.
It's the Brooklyn Basquiat, a.k.a. the Brooklyn Border Patrol. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Yo, what up?
It's still Black History Month.
Still Black History Month.
It's lit in these streets.
Yo, I want to give a shout out for Black History Month. I just want to highlight someone of importance. You know what I mean? We use her technology every day, to get from point A to point B. And we continue to get lost when we're using this technology because we always making the wrong turn when we're supposed to make the right turn. But I want to give a shout out to Miss Dr. Gladys West, who's the inventor of the GPS, son. We use the technology every day. Before her technology, we were always printing out our directions to drive places. But, now that we have Waze, Google Maps, what else? MapQuest.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Shout out to Miss Gladys West. No relation to Kanye whatsoever. But she's the one that developed and created the GPS system that we all are using today.
And I guess this is we're in traffic and maps and all that.
Right.
We want to give a shout out to Garrett Morgan, the creator of the traffic lights.
Yes, sir. See how that goes together.
Yeah, absolutely.
But black folks, we don't respect his invention because we still running red lights. Son. You know what I mean? We do not yield at the yellow. We just continue to keep driving.
We speed up.
Right.
Speed up.
When the yellow is green, we go. When it's yellow, we speed. You know what I'm saying? And then when it's a red, we continue to drive through it.
Go on the green, not in between, as they used to say.
Crossing the green and not in between.
You're right. Crossing the green and not in between.
Yeah.
Those were the Schoolhouse Rock days.
That was. Yo, son, I've been looking at a lot of I made a couple of investments during the week, trying to get this bread up, trying to get this money up. Just I just have my financial guide looking into certain things for my retirement fund, and I was looking at stocks, kid, and I didn't realize that like I was looking at the Dow, the Dow Jones, that's up 13%.
So 5,000 points there.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The NASDAQ is up, 24%, which is like 38,000 a share.
I know.
The Dow is 15,000 a share. People continue to invest in Bitcoin. I see Bitcoin just went up like 2.20%. You know what I mean? And that's at like 45, maybe 46,000 a share. I think it's going up because of Trump. When Trump was in office, Bitcoin was the fucking shit. Everybody was purchasing some type of cryptocurrency.
So somebody has to sit down with me and go over Bitcoin. I still have no idea what's going on. I think it's one big hustle. For me, I'm kind of old school. If I can't feel it and touch it, it's not
right.
real. I think we should just go back to the gold standard.
Or the barter system.
Or the barter system. Yeah. And I think eventually, once the economy collapses soon, the next 3 years, because we can't sustain giving Israel and Ukraine billions of dollars,
wow.
Just for wars, we can't sustain that. So, it's definitely going to crash.
How much do you think the government has given Ukraine total? Because every time I look, they're always giving like maybe 300, 500 million.
Easily over $1 billion. Let's just say that.
That is out of control.
Both Israel and Ukraine. Meanwhile, in the United States, there are people suffering. There's issues with homelessness. The people are starving.
It's crazy.
And we have plenty of money for wars.
And I really don't like talking like politics on the show. I really don't like mentioning things like that, but
we should.
But I was reading, I see that Putin is claiming that Russia is entitled to Ukraine, and I'm like, yo, how are you acting like a white Karen or a person that's a middle-aged person that's entitled to everything, and you're like, yo, we're entitled
because I think
to Ukraine.
I think at one point they were part of Russia, right? When it was the USSR, right? When it was all that, they were a part. And to be honest, we shouldn't even be involved in that anyway.
Not at all. And we always get into bed with shit that we have no dealings with. You know what I mean? That's like regular everyday niggerish shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you may have beef, and then somebody's like, oh, well, then your beef is my beef, and that's how shit gets all mixy, and things are happening, and people getting shot, and people getting killed, and, you know, it's crazy. But I was, you know, what was crazy, I was listening to a song by Black Thought, from the Roots crew, and he has a song called, and I think the song is like, I happened to hear the song on the radio, on Sirius, and somebody was playing it, and the song was fucking dope, and I'm listening to the lyrics, and this song is called Thought versus Everybody, right? It's produced by Madlib, and, you know, I'm listening to the song, and there's a lyric that he mentions within this rap song, and it says, trying to separate the truth from the lies that everyone has told us. I even heard that the Soviet is the 45th POTUS. And I was like, yo, just listening to that lyric, and wow. Meaning that, you know, I guess what, Trump was the 45th president at the time when this song came out. Yeah. But just him saying that, I was like, yo, just that lyric right there, I was like, wow, son. Like, was the Soviet Union and was it Putin like actually the puppet master, or the president behind and controlling everything, controlling the way the vote went, controlling the way how Trump got into office, and shit is, I'm just listening to that lyric, and sometimes you got to decode all of this shit. You know, I wish people would stop, the illusion. You know, I think it's the same with all government. You know, I think all government is basically controlled by the banks, of course. Which, of course, you know, as they say, you know, all wars are bankers' wars. Mm-hmm. So, you know, the bankers, the people with money, behind the scenes, behind the shadows, they control the president and all governments. You know, does Ukraine really need $1 billion? Like, how you know, clearly all of Congress is getting kickbacks, whoever is voting for these bills and for this aid. You know, so it's kind of like how the music industry was with payola. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll pay the record label, they'll pay the radio station X amount of dollars, but then the radio station or the DJ, whoever it is, would kick back that money. It's the Madoff scheme. It's the Madoff scheme being run over and over and over. And no matter how you look at it, it's like that throughout everything. And no matter how you vote, you know, unfortunately, I have to say this: no matter how you vote, if you do not have wealth and influence, you're just not in the game. You're just a pawn. It's over. And that's the bottom line. But speaking about dope lyrics in hip-hop, you know, I wanted to continue to focus on hip-hop because, you know, we are hip-hop driven. You're the Rain Man of hip-hop. You know, the Rain Man of it. So I was looking into some more lyrics, and like I was listening to Big Daddy Kane, Ain't No Half Steppin'. And, you know, like he has a fucking ill dope lyric where he says, brain cells are lit, ideas start to hit, next to formation of words that fit, at the table I sit making lit legit, and when the pen hits the paper, oh shit. Like, how do you feel? Like, dude, the way he beautifully the creative process, the process of writing a rhyme, like he basically told you, like, this is how I write rhymes. Like, I sit there, and once this is activated, it's over. You know, one of the dopest MCs of our time, right? Clearly, you know, I don't think he gets honored enough. You know, I think he gets a lot of respect, but when we talk about the greatest of all kind, you know, people automatically go to Nas and Biggie, right, and Jay-Z, of course. Yeah. But you know, all of that really, a lot of it started with Big Daddy Kane. Like, he was the only one spitting like that. Well, you know, I mean, and even if we have to take it back to Rakim, because Rakim was that ill lyricist coming out. Ill lyricist, but Rakim was considered to be like more serious heavy. So Big Daddy Kane was like as he self-proclaims a smooth operator. Right. So he had charm. He was clever. Right. You know, and you know, the bars were there. Of course. Like he had it all. Like, he was the perfect combination of everything. Right. And of course, he was in that Madonna book. Exactly. He went left there, but everything else was great. It was. And I mean, speaking of dope lyricists, you have to put Rakim in there with some of the greatest, you know, lines that he has. And this is a lyric from You Know I Got Soul, right? Mm-hmm. Where he states, he says, I start to think and then I sink into the paper like I was ink. And he says, when I'm writing and I'm tapping in between the lines, he says, I escape when I finish my rhyme. Like, listening to that is like, you know, like he's putting words together in between the lines, and I would say the lines are like bars, like jail, right? And this is just my interpretation of it. Like, you know, I'm not going to be able to finish this until I complete this rhyme. That's the only way I'm going to get out of jail. That's the only way I'm going to leave this notebook, is once I complete and finish in between the lines of this rhyme, that's when it's over.
You know, it's just street poetry.
Right.
It's street poetry. He's one of the reasons, why I fell in love with hip hop, and many others. You know, when it's done the correct way, it's just a work of art. And you know, we can't forget KRS-One,
of course,
you know, one of the greats as well.
Right.
So you know, when it's done right, you know, it's just a work of art. It's not like what exists today. What exists today is not hip hop.
Nah, it's not. Because I'm tired of all of these niggas like, you know, Lil Uzi Vert and Lil Yachty and Sexy Red and Ice Spice. You know, I feel like these are the bitches that give dudes bird flu. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of these chicks. You know, and speaking about hip hop, as we continue on with the topic, since we're on it, I was reading that Snoop Dogg and Master P are suing Walmart and Post Foods for hiding their rapper's cereal brand from shoppers, kid.
Really?
I didn't even know that Snoop has a cereal brand, and it's called, I think, like Snoop Loops or some shit like that.
I didn't know Snoop, but I knew Master P.
Well, Master P was getting into doing doing like foods, you know, foods for black folks, and But
I actually went to I wanted to buy it, but I didn't see it.
Nah, they don't have that.
They don't have it here in
I mean,
New
the
York.
only thing you probably could find is Rap Snacks. That was the shit that we worked with.
Oh, you saw it?
Well, Rap Snacks is like potato chips.
Oh, the potato chips.
Right.
Okay.
So back in the day, you know, when I was working at the label, you know, you had Rap Snacks. You know, Lil Wayne was on there, like all the Cash Money, all of you know, No Limit was on it.
Right.
You know, I think they did have a bag of chips with Nelly and the Lunatics on
Right.
there.
I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I remember we used to get boxes of that shit every day, and I think I used to eat the Lil Wayne because it was like the barbecue flavored.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, at the time, it was just like way ahead of its time. It really wasn't in the stores. But you know, I mean, you look back to how
I always say it started with Reggie Jackson, the baseball player.
When he did what? Was it the big league chew or some shit like that?
When he came out with his chocolates Reggie's.
But you know who else? You know who else had food like that?
That's where I got all of my cavities from, because I used to love baseball player from the Yankees, Reggie Jackson, and I used to, just because I wanted to be like him, I used to get a Reggie every single day because I thought it would help me play baseball when I played in the minor league. When I played in not minor leagues, youth baseball.
Youth baseball, Pee Wee baseball, or whatever.
Right.
You know who else had a dope cereal? That was Doug Flutie had his own brand of cereal.
Doug Flutie, but Reggie Jackson was the first one that I ever remembered had like a brand like that,
like a candy bar that was self-made for himself.
Right. I don't remember anyone else during that time. Maybe you do.
No, that was. I mean, with all the athletes, you know, back then, you know, you had all these athletes with their different Wheaties.
Right.
Even though Wheaties was like a separate brand, but they, you know, I think they got the concept of these independent food brands.
Right.
And all they did was, you know, take the athlete or the artist and they put it on there. So there was like these generic brands.
And it was effective. It worked.
Right.
It worked.
And I don't know what the difference is between a regular generic brand of cereal versus, you know, a cereal box with like Dig'em Smacks or Tony the Tiger. Like, it's the same shit,
thing.
The same ingredients, the same sugar content. And it's just like we're so focused on fucking tricks and
you know why?
And the rabbit and all this dumb shit.
Because marketing is effective. You know what they did was always put a great jingle,
right, and
a great cartoon character, and we were bedazzled. We were so focused on those characters that we thought that if we buy,
So let me ask: so how come King Vitamin and Kaboom never got the fucking props that they needed to get when we were kids? And if people don't realize, King Vitamin was a white man that was dressed like a king, that was on a box of a cereal box that you used to get when you get your week check. Kaboom was what Lucky Charms was. Right. It had the same, marshmallow treats that were in the fucking cereal that you ate. And I always thought Kaboom and King Vitamin was nothing but fucking Captain Crunch. Right. You know what I'm saying? And Kaboom was nothing but Lucky Charms.
But when you're up against Tony the Tiger, I mean, you lost right there. Right there. Tony the Tiger, they're great.
Wow.
Those commercials will forever stay in my mind. Right. Just worthless information. Don't even eat Frosted Flakes anymore. But every time I go by, I take a second look like, oh,
there you go.
Should I? I always think about it.
Exactly.
It's like a staple of our childhood.
Yo, I was reading that Uno officially confirmed, right?
I don't care
that you can't stack a drawer 2 on top of another drawer 2.
It's too late. I think Uno lost control of their own game.
You know what I think?
I think people play it the way they play.
Well, it's the white folks complaining because when black folks come in and we fucking nigga, I used to stack
the house rules wherever you are at. The way they play is the way they play. That's it.
Same thing with Pity Pat. Same thing with Spades. Same thing with I Declare War.
That's right.
Same thing with all of these other card games. The way it's played, the way it was created, as for Black History Month, as the young black kids would have taken the game and made it more fun and exciting. You know how crazy it is if you threw a drawer 2, then I threw a drawer 2, and then somebody else throws a drawer 4, and then the last person that gets it, then you're picking up like 16, 17 cards to put within, and it stretches the game out and makes the game extra fun. I love it.
Yes.
And I'm not following the rules. I don't care if they confirmed it. I don't care if these white folks are like, no, you have to follow the instructions. No, this is the way the game was played, and I'll continue to play the game just the way it is, kid.
I agree. I totally agree.
That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. In sports, because we always have to talk. The NFL Hall of Fame ballots are out, and your boy Eli Manning is on the ballot.
Absolutely.
You have Marshawn Lynch on the ballot.
Absolutely.
You have Clay Matthews on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
You have Adam Vinatieri. I keep fucking pronouncing his name incorrectly.
The kicker?
Vinatieri.
Absolutely.
He's on there. And there's another guy, Kirk something. I forgot his last name. But these are the 5 candidates.
Yeah. Eli Manning is the definite.
I want Eli Manning, and I want Marshawn Lynch to be up there.
Obviously.
I don't care about Clay Matthews. I'm not a fan of his.
People, a lot of people like to get on Eli Manning because they compare him to his brother Peyton. But the facts are that Eli Manning, he won his Super Bowls a lot faster, right, and he beat Tom Brady, which his brother could not do.
Well, Peyton got his first, and then Eli got the last 2.
No. Eli won his championship faster, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
He only took 4 years to do it.
Right, I see what you're saying.
Peyton took a little bit longer.
Right, I see what you're saying.
And people discount that. People never realize that he did it faster, right, and he beat the GOAT.
Of course, twice, not once, but twice.
Twice.
And he has a rap version of it, like.
That's right, and he's a 2-time MVP too.
Exactly. That's dope, man.
Yeah,
that's dope.
He's the man. So I want him and Marshawn definitely together. And what's the kicker's name? Vinatieri. Adam Vinatieri. He was one of the most prolific kickers of those times, and he definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Right. Yeah, that's dope. Yo, I was reading because I'm always reading shit, or I see shit on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw a clip of Charlie Wilson in the Gap Band. Charlie Wilson just got his star on the Walk of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
It was an interesting story where he said that where his star is located is a few feet from when he used to be homeless.
Mm-hmm.
And he's happy that the star is there, but he put out some interesting, and this is what I love about these brothers getting on these podcasts and telling a story that's compelling, that we want to hear, instead of dudes getting on there and fucking trying to recreate the history.
Mm-hmm.
But Charlie Wilson said that Babyface wrote Rock With You and Every Little Step for Charlie Wilson and the Gap Band.
That's amazing.
And those records were created for them, and then for some reason they were given to Bobby Brown. How would those fucking songs sound if Charlie Wilson and the Gap Band was singing them?
Charlie Wilson.
And he said he has the original versions. I wish they would post that up so I could listen to that.
If you get a version of it, post it up on the site, because people need to hear that, because Charlie Wilson actually has the chops to sing songs like that. Like, you don't have to put much effect on his voice, but it's obvious why they went with Bobby Brown.
Who do you think is better if they were to do a versus? And I'm not talking about
with
the
Bobby
group.
Brown?
No, not with Bobby Brown. I'm talking about a versus, a solo versus between him, Charlie Wilson, and your man, Mr. Biggs.
Oh my gosh,
just those two.
I hate battles like that because I'm not gonna choose. I'm just not gonna choose. Both of them are great. I don't even want it to
Ron Isley against Charlie Wilson.
See how you said it right there. I don't even want it to be against anybody. I just want them both to perform, because it'll be the best concert you'll ever get.
And we're not talking about the group. We're not talking about the Gap Band versus the Isley Brothers. I'm talking about these two individuals that still stand, even being in the business for 100 years combined.
Yeah.
They still can sing, and their music is like current. You know what I'm saying? Their music is current.
It transcends all ages and time.
And even if they did new songs now, it's still like,
because they make timeless classical music.
I want to see those two battle.
I don't want them to battle. I just want to see a stage, and I want to see them both perform.
Let me ask the Ben. So if they were to battle, who are you going for, Ben? Because you are the CEO of 92.6 The Spot, and I know, what you should do? As a matter of fact, if we can't get a versus between these two, what you should do is, on one of your segments or one of your stations, I don't care what time it is, you should just have nothing but Charlie Wilson music, and Ron Isley music, and just go song for song, beat for beat, music for music, and just let the audience decide who is the winner.
I think the crime bosses at WKBP should just get their money together and just throw a concert.
Right.
And it should be sponsored by 92.6.
That'd be really dope.
I think it'll be awesome. Put us all on the page.
Right.
All of us on the map.
And the ignorant know-it-alls came up with that. So whoever's listening,
we need our
need that check. Yeah.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Our 10%.
Mr. Bowtie himself, Ben Bowtie.
Right. It's 20%. It's 20%. And as time goes on, the fee increases.
Exactly.
So did you see the Grammys, or you're not into it?
Well, I wasn't into it, but I did catch a couple of the awards that were given out. Mm-hmm. I'm glad SZA won. Mm-hmm. I'm glad Killer Mike won. He swept the rap category with three Grammys. Mm-hmm. It's to show you that and it's not about old school versus new school. I think it's about the actual quality of music that's been recorded, and that, and like I said, if you have a strong fan base, your music is going to stand the test of times, and I'm glad that took over and and eliminated a lot of the bullshit that was out there.
And speaking of standing the test of time, it was so wonderful to see Tracy Chapman get up on that stage and sing Fast Car.
Right.
And it's number one right now, by the way.
Yeah.
And it just lets you know the classic, wonderful music is just the best, and it lasts forever.
But it's a shame that it took a white artist to actually put that song on the map.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think Joni Mitchell was on stage too for the first time.
For the first time in 66 years?
Ever on the Grammy stage?
Yo, son.
I don't know who runs the Grammys. I don't know.
Was she performing on a hospital bed? Because she was sick at some point.
We all know who runs the Grammy. We know the presidents, and we all know. But I don't know how you allow so much time to go by without honoring these great people. It's just like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right.
Like, I was so taken aback when I just found out that Willie Nelson was just honored, or he was just honored. I was like, Willie Nelson? Like, where have you guys been all this time? So
under a rock.
It's just crazy. And we got to see Jay-Z. He got his Icon Award.
Yeah, and to touch on that, I was surprised that he pulled the Kanye West move.
Yeah.
And Kanye, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he was trying, Kanye West has said it previously.
He defended Beyonce. So I guess
Jay kind of sat back and was like, appalled by it. You know what I'm saying? I think he was more appalled. Who you think was worse, when Little Mama ran on stage or when Kanye West went on stage? You know what I'm saying? Like, but for him to go ahead and spin a 360 and say the same thing, well, I don't want to put her on the spot, but she's had the best albums than any other people, and of course we know a lot of people don't deserve to be on
and I think that was the start of Crazy Kanye, right? When he went up on that stage with Taylor Swift, was that the start of Crazy Kanye, or was it Hurricane Katrina when he just went off script?
Hurricane Katrina's when.
Okay, that's when he started to go off script and just say
George
what he
Bush
really
felt.
Really
like black people.
Okay,
got you.
Yeah.
That's I was a Grammy voter. When I was a Grammy voter.
Wow.
So
explain that. Break that down to me, because I'm always curious about this.
So in order to become a Grammy voter, you have to have an album that's out there, and the label, what we all did, because everybody in the label, we recorded a Christmas album, and we recorded it right upstairs in one of the conference rooms. I had a little tambourine, and I still have this Christmas album, and it was just regular songs that we did, and we had to have a certain amount of albums in the store, and we had to purchase a certain amount of albums. So, of course, the label did what the label normally does. They put the album out and they purchase X amount of albums, and then we got our cards, and and then we went ahead and voted for every single artist that we had on the label. You know what I mean? Like, Nelly and the Crew, when we had Bad Boy, we're putting Grammy nominations in for Chic Luch, for Eric Sermon, for Master P, for Cash Money. And when they found out and got whiff of what we were doing, they fucking terminated and suspended everybody.
Really?
Yes. So, I was able to put my votes in and able to submit everything, and then once they found out the bullshit that we did, they suspended everybody. I can't find my card. I still have my Grammy card.
You got to find that card and put it online. You got to put. So how do you sign up for that? Like, you just have to have an album, or you have to have credits.
You have to have an album with credits. Yeah, so we had that.
And that's the only way you can.
That's the only way you have to have in order to be a Grammy voter. You have to have an album.
So I want everybody to understand that Wavy has done big things. Wavy has done big things. Everybody thinks he's just a comedian, or Wavy is a master of many things. Not only is he a comedian, but he's also a producer. He has lots of credit. He's worked with big artists before. A lot of things behind the scenes that you don't see. You just see us walking around with our cigars, drinking our whiskey. Say, oh, look at those two old men there. But there's a lot of experience behind that, right?
A lot.
Interesting.
And I have stories. Like, I think next week, I'm not going to talk about it this week on this show, but I think next week I'll definitely talk about the time when I put Blackstreet, the group, back together, and the only way for them to do it was they would do it without Teddy Riley. That story will be told next week from beginning to end. I think it's a dope story that you guys will enjoy, will love to hear. So we'll talk about that next week.
You know who else has a story?
Who?
Monique was on Club Shay Shay. I know you hate talking about Club Shay Shay and who's on Club Shay Shay, but Monique was back on Club Shay Shay, exposing Oprah, exposing Al Sharpton.
But these are stories we already heard.
Exposing Kevin Hart. But the question is, she's exposing all these people, and she does have receipts. I give her that.
Of course.
So we need to start asking, do these people need to be held accountable?
Well, it depends on how you do it.
So hold on a minute. So she has issues with Oprah. Oprah blackballed her.
Yeah.
Tyler Perry got caught on audio saying that yes, he did blackball her. You know, that's tens of millions of dollars that she lost for a decade not working because of all of that. So, you know, should these people be held accountable? Taraji was just complaining that she was not paid well for an Oprah Winfrey production, a billionaire who's doing something that's so important to her, so important to the world, The Color Purple, the musical, and you need to be reminded to feed the actors and have these hand-picked actors in nice trailers. You know, do you really need to be reminded? Like, what is going on? She exposed Will Packer. You know, I already said Kevin Hart. You know, it was just, you know, she said the only one that apologized so far was Lee Daniels. Oh, and this morning, you know who else apologized to her?
Who?
DJ Envy, Charlemagne, and Just Hilarious.
Really?
Because of the way they treated her when she was on that show. You know, we looked at her like the bitter black woman. But, you know, the truth is that black women are not treated well. Black women and black men as well are not treated well in Hollywood.
Right.
And, you know, should they stay quiet or do they speak out or do they speak their truth?
But there's a way of doing it. And I think she didn't do it organically, like have a conversation. I think everything that she mentioned was a little over the top because she was trying to compete with what Cat Williams did. You know what I mean? Like
right.
it didn't have that organic feel to me. And I listened to what D.L. Hughley said right after she went on there, and you know, like I said, everyone needs to hold themselves accountable, right? So you can't go on stage. I mean, you can't go anywhere and talk about someone's kids or talk about someone's wife without getting the same dish back. You know what I'm saying? So if you talk about me and my kids and my family, you can't get upset with me if I mention your kids and your family. You know what I'm saying?
Well, this is the whole point. If he makes a commentary, she has the right to respond.
Right, and that's what happened.
You know, never in all the time that Monique has been in the business, you know, before dealing with Tyler Perry and Oprah and all of that, has she been called difficult? Has she ever had a problem with anybody? Think about it.
I don't know, because
you never heard her. You never heard her in, you know, the gossip sites. You never heard of any people talking about Monique. Oh, that she's this, she's terrible to work with, until she worked with these people. And it's kind of the same people that Cat Williams is referring to. You know, there's some differences. You know, Cat Williams respects D.L. Hughley a lot.
Right.
I think what happened there was a personal. I personally think it's a misunderstanding. I think they should talk it out.
But what about where at some point do you say, you know what? Yes, all of this shit has happened.
Yes.
Like, you don't have to continue to keep revisiting and rehashing it so that way everyone knows. Like, we know what happened. So now you bring it up, but what is it that you're going to do to move forward? You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. I don't want to keep beating a dead horse if I'm not getting specific stage time, or I'm not at this club, or I'm not doing any hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can go ahead and say, yo, this person's doing this. This person is doing this.
It would be great, but the thing is, we're under the impression that it stopped, and what she's trying to tell us that no, it continues to this day. So, for example, I guess she was planning to re-up her talk show because you know she's had her own talk show before,
right?
And I think the production company Edamol, I think it's called, they were interested in her, and they called back and told her that Kevin Hart's manager, because Kevin Hart wanted to be involved with that show, that Kevin Hart's manager called the production company and said not to work with her.
Wow.
You know, when it's still, you know, going on till this day. So you know, they offered her the role of Cookie. They offered her a few of roles that Oprah Winfrey was on. And do you believe that those roles were given to Oprah? Oprah called them personally to get involved. Does Oprah need to be acting still? Does Oprah need to be doing anything? So I think what she's saying is that the reason why she keeps rehashing, because she is losing so much money and continues to get blackballed by these powerful people till this day. And what's so hurtful about it is that it's our own people.
Right.
And you know, we have to admit that, you know, not all kinfolk, you know, not all kin is folk, as they say, right? You know, we have to put a spotlight on these people who continue to hold back some of these great talents. You know, when you have Taraji crying on a platform, on a panel, talking about the color purple, and she starts crying, talking about she ain't paid enough. You know, what? Why are we still talking about this? This is being produced by a billionaire. Why are they being mistreated? And a billionaire who's of color at that. You know, why does this continue to happen? Should we call it out? You know, I understand what you. I understand what you're saying. That, you know, move on. But how can she move on when they continue to do it and she's losing millions of dollars a year? And all she wants to do is work.
Right. I mean, is she really losing millions and millions? I'm just saying.
You know, these deals are worth $1 million. You know, if you know, after she got paid $50,000 for Precious, it was an independent film. You know, after you win a Grammy, right? Not a Grammy, an Oscar. She won an Oscar.
Right. She did.
You know,
so the price did go up. Yesterday's price is not today's price.
You know, it's like you know, like Whoopi Goldberg won. You know, these people won an Oscar. So you would think that the next level would be, oh, now you're gonna get these 20 million or 10, not even to a 5 million, $10 million films, and she's still not respected at that level. This is a woman who's had her own talk show. You know, people forget she's been around for a long time. She's had a sitcom, right? You know, have you ever heard her have problems before?
That I don't know, because I don't. You know, I've never worked with it. It's just what we hear,
right?
And like I said, if you continue to keep pushing, it's like, you know, me personally, I'm just like,
it's time to move on, right? But what's clever about the whole thing is that her and Cat Williams are planning a tour together. So I think that's gonna be a hit.
Maybe I need to get on Club Shay Shay and fucking air out a couple of people.
I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just saying. It seems like when you air somebody out, nigga, great things happen for you.
Great things happen.
To all the people that's done me wrong, I would never you know who you are. So I'll just continue to let it ride out. I don't need to talk about it.
Who would you like to see on Club Shay Shay next?
Y'all would love to see Deion Sanders.
Yes,
because I want to hear. This is the shit, and now this is something that we need to hear and let people talk about.
Right.
Because all the bullshit that he's been receiving since becoming a head coach of a big time school, him taking a small school and creating a powerhouse at that school,
a lot of disrespect.
Him going to another
absolutely
school within a different conference and taking the big time recruits, yo, come play for me, and all of these white coaches are like, no, how are you able to get so
there's a lot of racial undertones.
Of course,
that, you know,
that's the shit we need to hear. See, shit like that, that's what we need to hear about.
He may have him on.
We need the Club Shay Shay. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, yo, Shannon Sharp, make this happen.
He has to be careful because he's still a head coach.
Of course.
But he represents the school, so there's probably a lot of things that he can't speak about.
And you might be right, but the thing is, this is something that we need to hear about, because it's like, I consider it, like a lot of people would consider it, kind of modern day slavery, right? It's like this great white hope of a coach, depending on who it is, comes in, takes these young black kids from out of the urban areas that are these top recruits and have them play at their school and make billions of dollars, and these kids are suffering. You know what I'm saying? And this is before the NIL came in. This is way before, players started getting paid for their name, image, and their likeness, right? They weren't getting paid, but these coaches are getting fucking $20 million deals. The fucking school is getting almost $1 billion television deals, and none of these kids are receiving none of that money until now, where kids are actually benefiting from all of this. But it's still a problem with a lot of these white coaches, because it's like, well, why does Deion get the top 10 recruit to go play at his school,
right?
And I'm here at a school and we have like 7 to 8 national titles,
right?
And you bringing him over, now that's a problem for me, because now if I can't, and see, this is the problem with these white coaches, if I can't get this recruit and I can't get any other recruit to come play for me, now I'm getting the third best, the second best, and now do I really deserve, the school is going to look at me like, yo, should we give this nigga $20 million?
So what you're saying is that it's still like a plantation program going on?
A little bit.
Right.
It is.
Interesting.
It is.
Interesting.
It is. And like I said, and I love the fact that, a lot of our urban kids, a lot of these kids are actually changing the narrative and going to play at any school that they feel comfortable playing at. Now, would we have looked at Colorado playing against USC, playing against LSU, playing against all of these big powerhouses? No, that shit was an afterthought. But being that Deion came in, changed the game, which is fresh and exciting, it's like, yo, these white folks have a fucking problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They have a problem. So they need to, whatever. And that's what the game is about. You know what I mean? It's about creating change, and, now everybody's stepping up and taking control over their own business, over their own name, their image, and their likeness. Yeah, you getting 20 million? Yeah, I'm getting 20 million as well. So I can go anywhere and play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just hate the fact that all of this money is being is being given out and handed out, that these kids still, these kids end up losing sight of, what it is that they're trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? Because it's like, now, okay, if I go to this school and, I don't like this coach, then you have the transfer portal, they jump ship and then go here instead of really sticking it out. And I'm saying a lot of these coaches are great coaches, because if you play for them, you're going to have a long-lasting NFL career, a long-lasting NBA career, whatever it is. But, I feel, with all of this money that these kids are getting, it does change the narrative just a little bit. Like,
right.
Well, I got a problem with this coach because he's not doing, so you know what, I'm going to jump ship and go here. And then, does it change the way coaches now have to deal with these top recruits that are making $20 million? It's like, I got to be gingerly. I got to coach gingerly around him because I don't know if he's going to be playing for me next season.
Right.
So, it's a catch-22. It's a lot involved, but I love the fact that these kids are making the money, doing what they have to do.
They're making money, but they're still employees.
Right, exactly.
You know who I like that's benefiting from, what do you call them, NIL deals?
Yeah.
Female basketball players.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they are definitely, taking advantage of what's happening, and as they should, because
the WNBA is not giving them the money that they need.
Continues to disrespect those wonderful athletes, and I think they're cashing in now with these new paradigm that's coming into the sports market. So
they're getting treated like Taraji. They're getting treated like
Taraji and like Monique.
Yeah, they're getting treated like that.
Right.
Now those are stories we need to hear.
Yeah,
and being working around that, understanding it, the league doesn't really pay these girls what they like. It's unbelievable that a player who is a number one draft pick, probably has so much recognition, you get to the league and you're only making what, less than 50,000, 100,000, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Where a kid will probably get drafted and he's already making millions, you know what I'm saying? And then, it's a shame that they have to go overseas to make double or triple the amount of money that they could be making in the league. You know what I'm saying? And it's just that has to be changed. You know what I mean? Like, you guys have TV rights, you guys have, sponsorships. I think, these women should be getting some of that money. They should get broke off a little bit.
I think they've been
and that's why I don't get upset when you see players like the girl, I forgot her name, Reese at LSU, where she's making damn near $20 million, and she's like, the WNBA, what? Like, I don't have to play for the WNBA. I get this money right now, and then I could play a fifth year of college and then go straight overseas and continue to maximize the amount of money that I'm making.
Exactly.
So,
I guess staying in the sports genre, what are your picks for the Super Bowl? What do you think is going to happen? Who do you think has the upper hand?
The Eagles.
The Eagles.
The Eagles.
I say the Giants.
Yeah, the Giants. There you go. That's it. The Giants and the Eagles are playing.
They're playing.
I really don't care, but we already know who's going to win. I said,
you think it's KC?
We already had our predictions. We already had.
So you pick KC. So
KC is winning.
KC. So you really think KC?
Yeah, I think KC is going to win this. And like I said, I don't know if we touched on this last week, but now the new theories that are popping up now. Last week I mentioned how it was a Texas player. This dude was a Texas player,
right? That ended up in the Super Bowl.
And so now the new theory is, being that in 2020, right, Super Bowl was played against the Chiefs.
And the
49ers.
And then the pandemic came after.
Right. So the 49ers lost. They won. The pandemic hit. This is nothing but a replay of what took place last year. And remember, this year is Trump got elected 2020.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you look at everything now, we're kind of like in this. Is it a paradox, or is that what they would call it? Like you're repeating, like history is kind of repeating itself. It's a reset from what took place in 2020. So everything is happening now.
So the question is, will they reverse it? Because now they know. See, it's interesting because I think now they know that we know, and that everybody's watching. Everybody's watching the color schemes. Right. Everybody's watching the numbers. So I think they know that we know, and I think they're starting to shift it up.
But I don't think they're going to give it to
the 49ers. You don't think the 49ers? Okay.
They're not going to give it to Brock Purdy.
Okay, so we're saying it here now. No matter who wins, it's a rematch again of what happened before in 2020. And I guess the conspiracy theory now is that after the games are over, there's some kind of pandemic is going to hit. So be ready. Take your vitamins.
Your vitamin D. Your vitamin C.
Right, because you're going to need it in the next few. Right, you're going to need it in the next few months.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Yeah, I was reading that there's some type of new study out that's showing if you pick your nose, it could lead to Alzheimer's. Like it could lead to Alzheimer's disease if you're picking your nose, son. And eating your boogers, I think, leads to erectile dysfunction. I don't know if people are out there still picking their nose or eating their boogers, but you got to be careful. This is some bullshit that I read. This is all on the internet. You can read this shit. We always trying to pick up topics so that way we can inform you guys of the ignorant shit that's out there.
I'm really excited. Just going back to the Super Bowl, I'm really excited to see Usher perform. I think that's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it's going to be dope. I heard he's going to bring Justin Bieber out.
I hope he brings all of them out. I think it's just going to be great. And
it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of symbols out there. A lot of rituals.
A lot of rituals and symbolism out there. Right. And speaking of musicians, again, Drake is in the news these days. What's going on with Drake? They say that he
Drake went ahead and got a penis pump and got
he got the Peruvian penis pump.
Right. He got the BBP.
He got the PPP.
The PPP.
The PPP. The Peruvian penis pump. We always laugh at the girls getting the BBL. He got the PPP.
He got the PPP. Yeah. Let me see if this will be a trend where everybody's going to Peru to get the PPPs done.
I thought it was ironic because last week you were talking about how difficult it is for you to send penis pics these days because you're kind of like older, so the angles they're kind of hard to. And here we go, Drake
is out there
right the week after,
on time.
He now he's not dropping albums. He's just dropping penis.
He's going to be dropping penis pics.
This is what we have come to. Ladies and gentlemen,
it's gonna be fucking crazy. 2024 is lit right now. It's lit.
2024 is the truth shall set you free. That's what it's all about in 2020. And speaking of that, Wendy Williams also she dropped a little documentary. Yeah, documentary about people stealing from her and she got no money. I still think now that Wendy has hatched a plan to stop her husband and his mistress and the new baby from getting getting her money.
Damn.
She hatched the plan, and I think it's succeeding.
Damn.
They're not getting anything. I think he lost the house.
Right.
I think she broke it off with him because, of course, she was there when the money was right. And I think she did it efficiently and effortlessly. She looked crazy, but it was worth it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So I just want to give my ignorant cooking tip. For people that's out there, usually I give a tip. I gave a tip. Pause. Like maybe 2 shows ago. My ignorant cooking tip for this week is homemade fish sticks.
Homemade fish sticks,
son. And what you could do is get your favorite can of tuna, whether it's Bumblebee tuna or it's Charlie the tuna.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Open that can up, throw it in your bowl, season that tuna up. Get yourself either some shredded cheddar cheese, some shredded Munster, whatever type of cheese you want to use. Throw that shit right in the bowl, crack an egg open, and mix that shit up, right? And then once everything is mixed up properly, you take it and you roll it into a fish stick kind of.
Right.
You put it in your pan, put it in the oven for 350, let that sit for 20 minutes, And when it comes out, you have homemade fish sticks, son.
My ignorant tip for the week is, the poor version. Get that pulpo, octopus.
The pulpo.
Yeah, by Goya. You go to the store, look for Goya, and get the octopus. And you take that and you chop up some cucumbers, you chop up some onions, chop up some cilantro, put some oil, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and some lime.
There you go.
And you get yourself some good crackers, and you eat that up, and you'll be good.
Nigga, that meal right there is better than Red Lobster right now, son. We just gave you fish sticks and pulpo, son. And if you eating that, son, good luck with that, because I don't know how that shit tastes. I've never tried it.
And it won't cost you more than $10.
Less than $10.
Less than $10.
Fucking can of tuna is what? 69 cents?
Right.
I
like it with the octopus, but yeah. So it'll cost you less than $10.
Way less than $10.
With the crackers and the
nigga, you don't even have to get yourself rich. You could get yourself the bullshit saltine crackers, nigga, and just go ahead and, son. So all you guys that's out there, son, this would be the best Valentine's dinner. You know what I'm saying? For your chick.
Word.
You know what I mean? She wants Red Lobster. Then be like, nigga, we out here. This is what we doing. You know what I mean? So take those tips, take those cooking tips, and go ahead and hit that kitchen and do your thing, son.
And I'm also giving recommendations for my favorite black films to watch during Black History Month.
Yep.
Top 5 by Chris Rock, of course.
1.
We have Barbershop.
2.
And then one of my all-time favorites, Fresh.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's dope. I like that.
Those are 3 black films that everyone should watch during Black History Month, just to check it out and support.
So here's mine.
Go ahead.
Mine would be Menace to Society, 5 Heartbeats, Jersey Drive, Mississippi Burning, and see the original Color Purple.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? That's the top 5 right there for me.
So you're going dark.
Yes. You know what I'm saying?
There's
listen,
this dichotomy. The guy who's always telling jokes and then he goes dark.
Or you can watch Belly and wait to the end when they show you the image of 42nd Street, and then all you hear is Nas talking about Africa. It's a different color blue. The trees are a different color green, nigga. And then you can be like, you know what?
And I watched that movie from beginning to end. No matter people said it was terrible, I watch it from beginning to end like it's like a Steven Spielberg movie.
Right. And before we get out of here, remember I talked about last week about Cyndi Lauper. Like I love Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Mm-hmm. I heard that her son was in Harlem on 112th Street, and allegedly he may have shot someone. Up there in Harlem trying to get some cocaine or something. I don't know how true this is. This hit. We get the alerts. This is what's trending right now, and I'm like, why is this dude on 112th Street knowing that they live on 79th Street in Broadway? You know what I'm saying?
He's uptown getting that perico.
Getting that nose candy.
that nose candy. That good nose candy.
Yeah.
And one last thing, I want to recommend a book from a friend of mine. His name is Jason Reynolds.
Reynolds.
The name of his book is called Long Way Down.
Nice.
I think if you have a teenager, you should, and I think everyone should read this book. It's pretty good. And just go and support the brother. Yeah,
go support him. And Jason has written a lot of dope books. Like he's written a couple of novels, and he's made, like, he reinvented Miles Morales. For those that don't know, Miles Morales is the Puerto Rican version of Spider-Man,
right?
In a different Earth, I guess. Within
alternate universe.
The alternate universe.
Right. So you've seen Jason Reynolds on The View, shows like The View, and of course Stephen Colbert show. So he's big time.
He's dope. But
he's one of the guys. So
he's one of those guys. Yeah, go support that book. Support that book. And I think the book that I'm reading now, I think it's the Book of the Five Rings. If you guys are into Japanese folk tales, or just Japanese art, or Japanese anything, dealing with samurais, learning how the way of the sword. This is like, I'm reading the book, which is more into sword fighting, but if you understand and apply it to what you're doing, throughout life, you can take the interpretations and kind of apply it to what you're doing, and and to push yourself forward and understand how you should maneuver within this world that we call Earth.
That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying?
That's right.
You know what I mean? So that's just what we're doing. And
you know, the nerd just came out in all of us. And my last thought for the
what's your last thought?
My last thought is that the Rock Nation brunch was canceled because of Diddy. And it gives us hope that next year we'll be invited to the Rock Nation brunch.
Right.
And
that'll be dope.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. We're there, you know, acting a fool.
Right.
And telling stories and talking to everybody, being ignorant.
Well, guess what? They have a brunch in Brooklyn every Sunday. So
yeah, so we're hoping they bring it to Brooklyn and they have it right there in the Navy Yard.
We out there and we brunch. You know what I'm saying? Unlimited mimosas, whiskey, cigars.
Absolutely.
You know, lots of women. You know what I mean? That's where we at. My final thoughts, like I always say, son, keep the culture forward, keep pushing it. You know, immerse yourself in whatever knowledge that you're trying to accomplish, whatever you want to accomplish. Read about it, research. You know, watch YouTube if you don't like to read. You know, go on Instagram. A lot of that shit is on Instagram, and you can just apply.
Always remember, and you're saying that, you know, reading. You know, a lot of people don't like reading, but remember, they can always go to audiobooks. Yeah. So you know, you can always listen to books.
Right. Definitely.
Because I'm one of those people. You know, I have the what do they call it, ADD or dyslexia, all these things going on.
You have all of that.
Right. I have all of that. So right. It takes me a while to get through a page. So listening to it makes it a lot easier.
Right. And you can listen to it while doing anything, washing dishes, washing clothes, on your way to work.
Correct.
But all of that stuff is there, and you know, like I said, you know, keep pushing it forward. I'm your boy Wavy McGuire, aka the Ignorant Know-It-All. Continue to stay blessed. Please continue to follow, subscribe, download the app, the 92.6 The Spot app on the iTunes, or you can log on to the website and listen to the show. And I'm with my man.
This is the Brooklyn Basquiat, and we'll see you next time on the Ignorant Know-It-All.
Yo, 92.6 The Spot. We out of here. Peace.